From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharif Fatah.
Good evening, I'm Lakshit Singha, and starting off, we take a quick look at the headlines.
The CID to question the staff of the new Diamond. The Presidential Commission on Political Victimization states that the decisions pronounced by the FCID are null and void. Disclosures made that Sajid Premadasa had acted illegally and in breach of cabinet decisions. The government plans to locally manufacture pharmaceuticals to meet 50% of the country's requirement over the next 3 years. The Premier puts forward a proposal to uplift the nutrition level of school children. Today marks the 19th year of the fatal 9/11 attacks.
We move on to those and other stories in detail. A look at local news first. The Colombo Chief Magistrates Court has permitted the chairman of the Marine Environment Protection Authority to conduct an inquiry upon obtaining oil samples from the new Diamond vessel. This order was given in response to an appeal made by Deputy State Solicitor General Dilip Piris, who appeared on behalf of the Marine Environment Protection Authority and the CID when a complaint in this regard was taken up before Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna today. At the hearing, the Deputy Solicitor General stated that it is evident through the investigations carried out that the staff of the vessel neglected their responsibility on alerting the relevant authorities when the blaze erupted. He further stated that the staff had not activated the automatic fire extinguisher, which should have been functional in the event of such a fire. The Deputy Solicitor General further stated that inquiries are underway to ascertain whether leaked oil of the vessel has mingled with seawater and therefore sought leave from the court for the Marine Environment Protection Authority to obtain oil samples from the vessel. The Colombo Chief Magistrate accepted the request and ordered for oil samples to be collected by the Marine Environment Protection Authority. The magistrate also ordered the local representative company of the relevant ship company to facilitate the process. Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Piris also sought leave from the court for the CID to obtain a statement from the rescued staff of the vessel. The Chief Magistrate accepted the request and notified the local representative company of the vessel to facilitate the recording of evidence. The Deputy Solicitor General further sought a court order to be issued on the local representative company of the vessel for a copy of the vessel's logbook to be made available to the CID to ascertain whether the vessel's staff followed a proper fire extinguishing procedure when the blaze erupted. The magistrate accepted this request as well and ordered for a copy of the relevant records to be issued to the CID. Meanwhile, repairs to the empty new Diamond fuel tanker have been initiated jointly by the vessel's proprietary company and salvage partner. The Sri Lankan Navy states that this step has been taken in order to tow away the vessel to speedily transfer the cargo of crude oil on board. Navy spokesperson Captain Indika De Silva states that the tanker is currently positioned in the deep seas area around 50 nautical miles east of Batticlaw. Navy divers were deployed today to inspect the ship's body below water. The captain of the new Diamond vessel was transported ashore by the Navy last night. The Navy states that he was sent to a quarantine facility at Galle, complying with health and safety guidelines.
Meanwhile, the government plans to produce 50% of the country's pharmaceuticals requirement locally within the next 3 years. The objective is to provide high-quality medicines to the local and foreign market at affordable prices. Producing pharmaceuticals locally will pave the way to save 60 billion rupees annually. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that it is possible to achieve these goals. The President made these remarks at a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday on the future plans of the State Ministry of Pharmaceutical Production, Supply and Regulation. 85% of the country's pharmaceuticals requirement is met through imports at an annual cost of 130 billion rupees. Sri Lanka is currently the largest importer of drugs in the Asian region. President Rajapaksa, stressing that it was high time to change the tendency, added that large-scale local investors are willing to contribute to this effort. An investment zone of 400 acres will be established in the Hambantota Industrial Zone for manufacturing medicines targeting the global market. The President made an open invitation to all the pharmaceutical importers to invest in manufacturing medicine locally. The world's topmost pharmaceutical companies have already expressed their interests in this venture. There is a huge demand for pharmaceuticals in the African and Southeast Asian region, and the goal is to also capitalize on those market opportunities. A considerable improvement is seen in local pharmaceutical production owing to the efforts of the incumbent government. It has been revealed that currently there is no shortage of essential medicine within the country. Manufacturing of a new medicine each month had already been initiated, and the target is to elevate this practice in the future to one new medicine every fortnight. As it takes nearly a year to process the documents of registration pertaining to pharmaceutical manufacture, the President highlighted the importance of implementing legal amendments to expedite this process. Now, at a discussion between President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and all state ministers was held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Several discussions pertaining to the welfare of the public and the progress of the society were taken during the meeting, which includes a significant decision on increasing the number of national schools in the country to 1,000. Certain national schools exist only for namesake as they lack adequate facilities. Therefore, these schools will be developed expeditiously. At the discussion, it was decided to appoint district educational committees tasked with the development of the school network. It was also decided to strengthen coordination between zonal officers and divisional officers. The opportunity to contribute to any activity that will ensure the progress of the school system is open for politicians, except when it comes to the transfer of teachers and the admission of students. However, the President pointed out that such activities should be only for the benefit of society and should not result in political interference. During the meeting, attention was also drawn to appoint acting principals to fill existing vacancies in the principal grades. Teaching exams need to be held once a year according to the teacher service regulations, as the main reason for vacancies to remain pending in principal posts is due to the failure to conduct these examinations in a methodical manner. It was also decided to explore the possibility of appointing competent and experienced teachers in schools as acting principals.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the new government will be dedicated on preserving the free health service in the country. The Premier points out that if the country achieved success in controlling the COVID-19 spread, it was due to the excellent health service in the country. The Premier expressed these views joining in the ceremony held at Temple Trees today, organized to enroll 298 pupils nurses of the Colombo Nurses Training School to the nursing service. At the ceremony, President of the State Nursing Services Association, Venerable Muruthettuwe Anandathera, stated that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa always rendered an immense contribution for the upliftment of the nursing sector. The ceremony was also attended by State Minister Lohan Ratwatta. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that whenever they came to power, they took steps to uplift the health sector by looking into the infrastructure facilities of hospitals and the qualitative advancements of the medical staff. The Premier in addition stated that hospitals were constructed in areas that lacked the facility. The Premier alleged that it would be correct to say that in the recent past the task was not fulfilled properly. Therefore, the majority of the people have given him a mandate as Prime Minister to rectify the shortcomings. The Premier anticipates the dedication of all persons in the health sector to meet with the people's expectations. He pointed out that nurses' training will be upgraded to the status of a degree as it is a requirement of utmost importance. The Premier explained that thereby the government hopes to increase the course duration of the nursing diploma from 3 to 4 years.
Members were nominated for the Committee on Public Enterprises and the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts today. In addition, the condolence motion regarding late former Minister Arumugam Thondaman was also taken up in Parliament today. Speaker Mahinda Yapabewardena announced the names of the parliamentarians appointed to the COPE committee. Thereby, the COPE committee includes Mahinda Amaravira, Mahindananda Alutgamage, Rohita Abegunawardena, Susil Premajayanta, Jayanta Samaravira, Dilum Amanugama, Indika Anuruddha, D.V. Chanaka, Sarath Veerasekara, Dr. Nalaka Godaheva and Ajit Niwad Kabral. In addition, parliamentarians Rauf Hakim, Anurakumar Desanayaka, Patali Champika Ranavaka, Jagat Pushpakumara, Eran Vikramaratna, Ranjan Ramanayaka, Premnath C. Dolavatta, S.M. Marikkar, Nalin Bandara, Sanakyan Rasamanikam and Professor Charita Herath have been nominated to the COPE committee, which is the Committee on Public Enterprises.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that he has instructed the Minister of Education to look into providing school children with an egg a day to uplift their nutrition level. The Premier expressed these views in a meeting with the Baker Owners Association and the Egg Producers Association held at his official residence in Vijayarama today. At the meeting, the Egg Producers Association stated that eggs can be provided for bakeries at a stable wholesale price. The Premier thereby instructed the representatives of both associations to reach a consensual agreement that grants relief to the consumer. The Premier also instructed the subject minister to intervene in the agreement between egg producers and bakery owners and pertaining to reducing the price of a broiler chicken.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry on Political Victimization today stated that the investigations conducted and the decisions taken by the Financial Crimes Investigation Division, or FCID, are null and void before the law. At the Commission, it was also revealed that opposition leader Sajith Premadasa illegally and in breach of cabinet decisions appointed an overaged individual as the Director General of Divi Naguma. Meanwhile, the Presidential Commission on Political Victimization sternly warned interdicted former Kaduwala magistrate Dhammika Hemapala today. Former Kaduwala magistrate Dhammika Hemapala appeared before the Commission for the first time today pertaining to a complaint made to the Presidential Commission on Political Victimization by former Secretary to the Ministry of Economic Affairs Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka. Dr. Jayatilaka had complained to the Presidential Commission that his arrest during the Yahapalana government had been carried out upon political revenge in connection with granting relief through the Isurumat Nivasa project and in granting compensation and gratuity payments for employees who voluntarily resigned when Divi Naguma was transformed into a department. Dr. Jayatilaka, previously recording evidence, stated that a group including himself were arrested on the 22nd of April 2015 and taken to the Kaduwala Magistrates Court at around 10 p.m. at which a Black Maria was waiting and then Kaduwala Magistrate Dhammika Hemapala was present. Former Kaduwala magistrate Dhammika Hemapala was summoned before the Commission to inquire into the incident. However, he stated that he is unable to testify without the permission of the Judicial Services Commission. To this objection, retired Supreme Court Justice chairing the Presidential Commission Upali Aberatna sternly warned former Kaduwala magistrate Dhammika Hemapala with the words that translate as, quote, "Do not entangle unnecessary things. Bear that in mind. There are two former justices who served in the highest courts in the country. Do not drag the Judicial Services Commission into this. We know only too well how to question whilst being within the limit," unquote. The justice chairing the commission further warned the witness sternly with the words that translate as, quote, "The media are in receipt of a video which is witness to discussions on legal matters at a private location with Ranjan Ramanayaka. It has disparaged the courts and resulted in losing the people's trust. You were summoned to record testimonies in this regard. Social status is not relevant to us. As per the powers of the commission, anyone in Sri Lanka can be summoned before the commission," unquote. The Commission further stated that as the witness has been interdicted, he is able to testify without the permission of the Judicial Services Commission. Meanwhile, Attorney-at-Law Ganesh Dharmawardena, who is an additional secretary attached to the Prime Minister's office, submitted to the Commission today a register on maintenance expenses, salaries and allowances of the Anti-Corruption Secretariat established during the Yahapalana government. Upon examining the register, commented on its contents with the words that translate as, quote, The largest corruption has taken place wherever corruption has been probed. However, when inquired from former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and former Minister Mangala Samaravira, they said that they had no knowledge of such a committee. As it is important to reveal this great falsehood, release this content to the media, unquote.
We move on to sports news now. A former Sri Lanka ODI cricketer, Anthony Ralph Marinon Opatha, mostly known as Tony Opatha, passed away today. Tony was the manager of the Rebel Tour of South Africa by Sri Lankans in 1982, which became a turbulent event in Sri Lankan cricket. Tony Opatha was born in August 5, 1947 in Colombo. The right-arm medium-pace bowler played 5 one-day internationals in the 1975 and 1979 Cricket World Cups. He was educated at St. Peter's College, Colombo, and later joined the Royal Ceylon Volunteer Air Force in 1968. He had played for his college cricket team and went on to play for the Air Force cricket team till 1977. The first played for Ceylon in 1971 and was a member of the Sri Lankan teams playing in the World Cups in England in 1975 and 1979. He later played club cricket in Ireland for 1 season in 1979 and was offered the post coach of Holland team. As player-manager of the Rebel Tour to South Africa in 1982-1983, in defiance of the sporting ban against the apartheid state, he and the other tourists received a lifetime ban from international cricket. In September 2018, he was one of 49 former Sri Lankan cricketers felicitated by Sri Lanka Cricket to honour them for their services before Sri Lanka became a full member of the International Cricket Council.
And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Have a pleasant night.